Hello, everyone. Today we are going to discuss about a topic which is not frequently asked or not very much popular, but we think this is a topic that requires discussion, that requires a clarity. The topic is what are theories and what are its importance to physiotherapy, to be specific. Right? Uh, the word theory apparently has different meanings in academia or in general clinical practice. Some of the meanings are grossly wrong. Some of the meanings are relatively misinterpreted. The first thing that uh, comes to my mind is the word theory is often used to refer to class or a content or a knowledge that is delivered through lecture, because in school that's what we say, we have a theory class and we have a practical class. So because of often there is a gross discontentment with the lectures, generally that is also now a sort of aversion towards theory has also developed because it is often associated with a lecture. Right. The other interpretation of theory or understanding of theory is that uh, in individuals, well-formulated opinions are also often understood as theories, or sometimes it's also referred to as school of thought, according to Bobat approach or according to PNF. So we think those are all theories, right? So these are all two gross misunderstanding of theory I want to start off with, and then we will move on to, if they are not theories, then what are actual theories? That's how we have structured. So let us first start off why these are all misunderstanding or misinterpretation of a theory.
Uh, Now, we'll start with the Bobat and Pina fight.
Right.
They are not actually theory; they are applications of theory. The theory was reflex model of the brain, um, where if you give a stimulus, you get a response. I'm not even sure if it is a reflex model or it's a Pavlovian idea or something like that. Um, so these are not theory per se, it's an application of a theory. And uh, as we all know that the theory predicts that this will happen if you do this, right? So what I mean by application is they have the reflex model or the Skinner idea of give a stimulus and get a response, change your behavior, that kind of idea is the prediction from that theory. That is, it predicts that if you give a stimulus, you get a response, and if you keep on doing that, the response will become better. That kind of. So basically, those are all applications of the theory, and then you test whether that prediction is true or false. And in the last 40 years, we are fairly sure that those things don't work, or the
Yeah.
predictions of the theory is wrong.
Right. So what are theories according to you?
It's not according to you. But
I'm
I have a
glad
simpler
you
exception. Yeah.
corrected that.
So I think the you need a group of a group of ideas, conceptual ideas, and then it all explains a particular phenomenon, right? Let's say, for example, how do I move this arm? If I take that as a phenomenon, then I have a set of rules and ideas of how this arm is moving,
Say,
right?
for example, here from a clinical context, a patient with hemiplegia comes and says
Mm-hmm.
that, no, I'm not able to move my arm.
Mm-hmm.
We can take from there to explain a theory that in
Mm-hmm.
turn will drive our actions too, isn't it? The clinical value of a theory.
Very much so. And also, it can also help you in predict whether this person will get better or there a treatment? Is there going to be reanimation and things? Say, for example, we have a strong idea or a strong theoretical idea that the brain does not, if your neurons die, they die. They don't regenerate, right? That's a theory. And the prediction is it cannot happen at all. And we see that in any element lesion involving the anterior horn cells, and whether it is Parkinson's kind of disease where the human lesion also, where some cells degenerate. And they don't, we know that that's not going to come back, right? So that's the clinical value out of that.
Right. So to summarize, basically theories or explanations based upon set of ideas about why things are the way they are.
Yeah.
Right. Or how they work. Now, as a clinician, if you're trying to apply that, this is an important question, because that's the question patient comes up with us. Say, I have a back pain. I'm not able to bend and pick up things, or I'm not able to work. Now, again, the question comes, why the patient is not able to bend and pick up things. Now, there are explanations. Now, for this, we can have our own intuitive explanations.
Correct.
Or we can have explanations based upon a theory.
Right.
Now, can you explain what are the differences between if we have our own explanations based on intuitions or previous knowledge we heard? Say, for example, if you bend and pick up things, you might further injure your back and make things work. So therefore, don't bend. This explanation comes from an intuitive understanding, and also maybe on some other theories also that says that if you bend, you will make it worse. Right.
Now, so the theoretical framework for these things, I believe, it comes from engineering ideas. That is a system which is very mobile, and it is has so many joints and things like that, or inherently unstable structures are bad for us. That kind of idea comes from engineering theoretical idea. And then they predict that, okay, if the inherently unstable structure gets some loose cracks here and there, then the best thing is not to aggravate it, not to make it worse, things like that. So that is where the prediction comes. Now, the problem is a lot of people misinterpret that this is a prediction. This is not necessarily the truth. And the prediction needs to be tested to find out whether the theory is true or false. Right. And again, in the last 20 years, this prediction has never been proven to be right. It cannot be proven wrong, but it has never been proven to be right. So that is the issue with this theoretical idea.
So what happens when you have a set of ideas? So in this case, you were explaining that set of ideas derived from structural engineering, okay, which is applied to other structures such as low back spine. Okay. Now, these set of ideas were proven to be true when it comes to non-biological things such as other structures, right? But when you apply it to another context, where to other tissues such as biological tissue, these set of ideas and the predictions based on the ideas were not proven to be true. Now, when a theory and its predictions were not proven to be true, then what happens?
Then, if it is, if we believe Paul Popper, then you reject that theory and move on to other things. And it seems he was naive in thinking that if something is disproven, then, or if it is not able to be proven, then we will move on to other things. Probably your your own philosopher, Thomas Kuhn was more correct, I
Yeah,
suppose. If we all die, then the then the next generation will see it better. But by definition, if it is if the prediction has been proven wrong, then we have to assume that the theoretical idea has flaws.
right. So when what the evolution of theory often happens is sometimes you will have the entire structure of a theory's predictions have been proven to be false, right?
Yes.
But sometimes there are some aspects of the theory alone have been proven to be not so appropriate or wrong. So that theory goes through modification. Say, for
Yes.
example, if you take the gate control theory, it is not entirely wrong, but probably it explains only one aspect of it. So it goes through
Probably.
development, isn't it?
Very true. And also, we also want to remember a lot of theories work in a particular set of rules, I suppose, or within a particular limitation. Say, for example, Newtonian gravity works to a certain extent, and then Einstein came and told there is problem in his idea, so he
Right.
added more. And then the Einstein idea of gravity and things like that now work in a quantum level also. So sometimes the theory works in sort of in a different set of rules or within a particular context.
Right. So to summarize this from a clinical perspective, I just want to make certain, take-home points. One is that every clinician or student, in whichever field they are, but let's only take physiotherapy now, that we are a professional means we are solving problems and we have a specialized knowledge about how to solve a problem, right? Now, as a physiotherapist, whether we are a student or clinician or researcher, the problems that we deal with, whether it's low back pain or patients who are not able to walk, and these problems need an explanation for why they are the way they are, why the patient is having pain in the knee and so. So that means we needed an explanation. And those explanations are derived from a theory. Now, the different parts of the theory is constantly being tested. There are predictions derived out of a theory and it's tested. And it's possible sometimes the entire set of theory prediction from a theory is completely wrong. So that means we have to have a newer or better theories. Or sometimes some parts of the predictions of a theory was proven wrong. So there are some modifications of that theory that evolves. Irrespective of what it is, as a clinician or a student, we first have to know my predictions or my explanations about a problem, from which theory is it derived from? One. Secondly, what is the amount of evidence supporting that theory now? Right. So this is what I think everybody have to understand so that they will know any predictions based upon a treatment or whatever that we are coming up will tell the likelihood of how successfully that solutions will be.
Yeah, very much so. Say, for example, if somebody comes and tells me that I am moving the fascia and then the pain goes away. Now, there are two predictions in this. That is, first is you can move the fascia or stretch the fascia. I suppose that's the better way. And then you have to show theoretically, you have you have made a theoretical prediction that they are the cause of the pain. So if I treat that fascia, then the pain should also go. So there should be two parts to the testing of it. One is, can I stretch it, and how long? What is the half-life period of that stretching and things like that. The next one is the real-world application. That is, if I treat that, does my patient get better in comparison with natural healing?
Right.
So when you take this as a theoretical idea, in both fronts they fall flat on the face, and it's assault to the intelligence of any person who has read anything. in physiotherapy. But as you have already noted, even though there is no evidence to show any of these things is true, the theory does not seem to go away because of many reasons. One of the reasons is if I have what we call as the sunken fallacy, that is the biggest reason.
Right. I think we can end this discussion at this point. I'm sure there are lots of questions that comes, but if you're interested in those questions, tell us by typing in the comments. We will respond questions that needs response. Thank you very much, everyone. Yes, you have
Bye.
anything to say?
Remember, if there is no if in your mind if there is no theoretical idea, then you are just a mechanic. You're not a person of science.
Yes. So tell us what's the theoretical framework that you are using, maybe for pain management or management of stroke or whatever condition. We all have. Sometimes we don't know, but let's just ask ourselves and again type in comments what you're doing. We'll see you again. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.